Hey everyone, Jolly here. You're about to watch our reaction to the season ending. It was recorded at 12:30, past midnight last night when Jerry got home from post game on SNY. It is very raw. We don't touch on all the subjects because it's kind of just honest reactions, no outline, anything like that. It's a very unique episode of Shea Station. We're going to come back with our full thoughts on free agents, the entire regular season as a whole in a more cohesive manner, probably in a couple days. But we thought, let's get the two versions of what this episode could look like out. And the first being, immediate reaction as both a fan and an analyst. There is a lot of offseason content on the way. We have a draft episode coming up, a few interviews scheduled that could be really fun. So keep that in mind as the playoffs continue to go on. And most importantly, keep your heads up, Mets fans, because that was a tough one. And, you guys are great fans. You don't all deserve that. So we definitely feel for you. Today's episode is brought to you by True Classics. So I want to thank them before we get it going. They bring the best comfort in terms of t-shirts for men, and I'm sure a lot of us could use some comfort right now. So this is definitely something you might want to check out. Athletes may have jerseys, but we have True Classic. It's the one-stop shop for your favorite casual crew necks, polos, and activewear. And I'm telling you, they give all those expensive brands out there a run for their money. You already know about all the sizes they have. They're built for tall guys, big guys, short guys, small guys, triple XL sizing. It goes all the way up there. So you can look great no matter how you look in real life, which is really awesome. You can get more reps in with True Classic because when you look good, you feel good. Love that moniker. So, guys, use our code Shea at their website, trueclassic.com, and you can get 25% off with the code Shea and even free shipping on purchases over $100. So, 25% off, code Shea, like Shea Station, and you can strengthen your core wardrobe with True Classic today. Thank you to them for sponsoring today's episode and sticking with us throughout this brief playoff run. And now, without further ado, let's get into this big episode of Shea Station. Hello, everyone. It is episode 108 of Shea Station. It is 12:47 on Monday, October 10th. The Mets are out of contention for the 2022 World Series trophy. They've been eliminated in the wild card round by the San Diego Padres. This is going to be a one of a kind Shea Station episode. I think it's going to be raw emotion. I texted Jake and Jimmy a couple hours ago and I said, how do you guys prep for this kind of episode where the season ends? And they just said, whatever you're feeling, leave it out there. No show, nothing like that. Emotion. I'm Jolly. That's Jerry. Jerry, go ahead, man. Take the mic.
Yeah, man. This is gosh, I'm sad. I'm
Yeah.
legitimately sad for a few reasons. One being that the team lost, that we're here on a sad episode of New York Mets baseball talk in Shea Station. But another one is like, this has been fun covering this with you and interacting with the fans all season long because this has been a really fun baseball season.
It was. It
It
really was.
was. This was my first cover to cover retired season.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations. I'll
Thank
throw in
you.
some
Thank
applause there
you.
because we're on Zoom right now.
This was our first cover to cover season
Yeah.
covering the Mets together. I'll applaud for that.
There we go. We like that.
Little golf clap. Uh, yeah, man, and I'm sad. I'm sad because this team was special and I felt the emotions of the guy's post game interview. And one
Yeah.
thing, like listening to Brandon Nimmo talk about, he stayed in uniform
Yeah, you
for a
did.
long time, and he talked about how it was over, and it's harder for a player because it isn't just a season. Every bit of it is a family that you start from spring training, a literal family that you're with every day. And then once the season's over, and it's usually like this, like if you're a good team, it usually either ends. If you stink, it's the anticipation build up and you leave, you say your goodbyes. It's the good teams, you either win the World Series and you're together through the parade, or you lose like this. And when you lose like this, it comes unexpected, so you don't really get to say goodbye. And then it's sad because next year it's never going to feel like this. It'll be a completely different start from scratch. build that same kind of chemistry. So I felt sad and for those guys, and there's a ton of guys that are Mets that are free agents right now that have a whole Wild West landscape for them out in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up pretty well, and I'm glad you took it in that direction because you've been there. You know, you've been to the playoffs before, and it hasn't gone the way you wanted it to. And I think it's something you don't really think about until it's happening because you don't want to prep for that because in everyone's mind, the players, the fans, it's going to end the way we want it to, and that's just the reality of baseball is that most of the time it doesn't. There's only one team out of 30 that can win it every year. But I really thought these Mets had a good shot. And a lot of the quotes from Scherzer was saying the same thing. The one thing he said that really resonated with me was that he had been a part of a lot of successful clubhouses, both teams and clubhouses. And he said a lot of the prior clubhouses that he had been a part of that he considered successful shared a lot of qualities with this Mets clubhouse, which is encouraging because Scherzer, you know, there's a lot of talk about the guys that are going away. Scherzer is one of the guys that is going to be here next year, along with Alonso and Lindor. And I know we'll have to talk about the free agents because it is a stacked class.
Escobar.
Escobar is still here. Canna is still here. Marte, these guys are all going to be back next year, and there's still a lot the Mets can do with this class coming up, whether it's keeping their own guys or going to get new guys. And I just think I've been a part of eliminations before, and you're not really sure if you're going to be back there next year. This year, it's awful. It's an awful, awful feeling, but I do feel like, okay, we learned something. We gained a lot of adversity. It was tough, but I think we can be back next year confidently.
There's a lot of question marks,
Yeah,
and to sum up how you're feeling, it's very rare for a team to really, really have a shot
yeah.
at the World Series. And this team really, really had a shot at the World Series. Turned out, didn't work out. It only works out for one team, you know. Um, and as far as getting back to that, you think you have the right things going the way with what Steve Cohen and Stephen Alex Cohen have done, what Billy Epler and Buck Showalter, the players they have returning. It's a bright future, but it's still unknown. You're going to miss a lot of guys, and you think about those dynasty style teams, what the Cubs were supposed to do. You know, they did win a World Series, but they were supposed to go. They were supposed to win like three. What the Dodgers have done, and they were supposed to win a bunch of World Series. They still can, but this is a different look, and they only won one.
All right. So we should talk about the game because we
Okay,
haven't
let's
talked
talk
about
about
the
the
game.
game.
We gave a eulogy on the season, talked about our
Yeah.
feelings. We avoid talking about the game. Um, what was up with Joe Musgrove's ears, man? Why were they so shiny?
Yeah, man. What was the deal? He tried to explain it. Like again, I'll start it by saying this. They checked him
Yeah, he was
and
clean.
they found nothing, which is it's a done deal for me that he's not cheating. He just was dominant. But what? Why are your ears so shiny?
Like I everyone saw it in the first inning, and I thought like, hey,
Yeah.
maybe before like first pitch, just like send him out and see what's up. Buck waited until the sixth inning before he was like, we should do something about this. And it just gave it way more attention than it should have gotten.
It was also like his like so guys sometimes will put like Vaseline on their arms when it's
Yeah.
cold to give a barrier and it keeps you warm. If it was like Vaseline and lotion, his spin rate would have gone down. Like that's like a spitball, like slip pitch. Um, so it wouldn't make his so it wouldn't make his spin rate rise, which is what it was doing today. So if he had sticky on him, either he hit it not where we thought it was, or he wasn't cheating. And I just assumed after they checked because they did a pretty thorough check
Yeah, it was a long check too. That's why I think that's
that
why it got so much attention.
there were some comments said that like Buck Showalter tested Joe Musgrove's integrity and was like questioning his integrity.
Yeah.
I don't see it that way. Like I understand that you can take it like that and motivate you, and Machado could think that way. I just think that like, dude, your ears are fucking shiny. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was weird on top of your spin rate going up. Like you didn't cheat, but like
Yeah.
it looked like you could have been. So
And I think that's just Melvin defending his guy, a guy that's like, a San Diego kid. And like, that's, I get it. That's what, managers fired up, just won a playoff series. But I just think it was evident from the beginning about his shiny ears. And I just think if they did it sooner, we wouldn't even be talking about it. It
He
would
said
be a moot point.
he had lotion, could have been lotion or from a massage he had right before.
From a
But
massage. Wait, is
he
that
said he got a
real?
massage. Yeah, he got a massage like right before the game, like
Really?
to loosen up. Like that's not
Okay.
unheard of.
Okay.
Starting pitchers get like pampered.
Sure, sure, sure. But the lotion
But
on the ears, that's kind of
yeah,
how
that's
you
what I
get
mean. I
there.
was like, and plus, if you get it there, like I never wanted anything on my fingers, like you know, any bit of any substance. Like I want to be able to grip the ball because they're cue balls out there, and so like if I put lotion on, I'm scrubbing those things off with that Goo Gone. Remember the orange stuff? I'd be grinding it off. So I don't know. It was weird, but he didn't cheat. So that's simple as that to me.
Yeah, and Musgrove proved he was a big game pitcher because all that did was just light a fire under his ass, and
Dominated.
he continued to. That was, I mean, it was the second coming of the Madison Bumgarner game. It was genuinely unbelievable how well he was at dotting tonight. And the Mets, like, they did their thing. They made solid contact, and it just got caught, or some bounces didn't go their way. Jeff didn't run out a ball, which was tough. I
I
mean,
don't think he. First of all, he didn't, but I don't think he was going to beat that ball out anyway.
yeah,
I don't
right,
think he
right.
beats it out. That was a hell. Like Will Myers had three great
He had a
plays at first
great
base.
game, like out of
Dude,
nowhere,
sick.
man.
Trent Grisham, the best player on the
Oh
planet,
my.
he made a sick catch in right field and dominated the game. Um,
I love a good redemption story as long as it's not at the expense of my team. And Trent Grisham bouncing back from the worst wild card moment in recent memory to have
that
that
error,
series, that error was it kickstarted a World Series run. That's how bad it was.
I mean,
Like they wouldn't have made it past that
I,
game if he
I
didn't do
mean,
that.
I'm happy that that didn't derail, a career because those are moments. You remember Brooks Conrad with the Braves?
Yeah.
He let a couple balls like go by him at second base.
Oh, was that Cardinals wild card game? Like maybe the first one, I
Cardinals,
think.
Braves. Yeah, I
Yeah.
played with Brooks Conrad with the A's and good kid, but that shook him for a while.
Yeah.
Those are hard moments.
I get it. You're under a national spotlight, and Trent Grisham was again against Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, and he was up for the task, man.
He plays center field. Ha Sung Kim is their shortstop.
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis play left field.
Who's in left field for them right now? Profar? Where do you put Profar? He was really good too, and he's under
Yeah,
contract.
Profar is solid.
Profar you could put anywhere, which is really. Padres have a cool team. They have a good roster. I
I
mean,
love their team.
they were fun to watch this series.
Did you see? Did you see who took out the lineup card?
I did not. Who?
My boy Craig Stammen.
Let's go, Craig Stanton.
Yeah, he didn't make the playoff roster. He
Oh, I
didn't
didn't
make the
make it.
playoff
Tough.
roster.
That's tough.
But Melvin, gave Craig the lineup card. I
Melvin always
text him.
does it right.
I'm now rooting
So I was going
for
to
the
ask you that
Padres.
eventually, like what team do you want to win the World Series now? I definitely get the Padres because one, Melvin, and two, you want the team that beat you to beat everybody else as
Yeah,
well, so you don't look as bad. Um, I think I tweeted this before. I think I'm pulling for somebody in the AL just because
that's fair. You don't
Braves
want the
Phillies
NL.
on one side, so an NL East team is getting to that NLCS, which is tough, tough. But yeah, I don't know. Like Guardians are interesting. I like them. Mariners are fun.
It's to me like I like the Phillies because of Wheeler and Bryce, my a couple of my former teammates. Sam Folds over there is one of my former teammates in their front office. Uh, I love Bob Melvin was my favorite manager, and Craig Stammen, my college and pro teammate. Um, and I love their team. Their uniforms
Yeah.
are sick, and they have an exciting team. So I don't know. I'm not rooting for an AL team. If I did, it would be the Guardians. I don't root for an AL team because I like it's American League versus National League, and I'm a National League guy
You're
now.
NL supremacy. Okay. I don't say I think it's all going to change, man.
If the A's were in, I would root for the A's now. But they are way far away from.
Yeah, I mean, so this is, what we're talking about now. I mean, the game there's not too much else to say there. I mean, as for the Mets, we did talk a little bit about roster turnover and free agents, and obviously, these poor guys had to deal with those questions tonight.
Is my nose shiny right now like Joe Musgrove? This is
I
lotion.
see the
Dude,
bottom of it is a little
I have
shiny.
to wear makeup for TV,
Oh, so you're all
and
greasy right
so I
now.
peel the makeup off with the makeup wipes, and then I put face lotion because that's my life now. Um, but I didn't realize how shiny that made me look.
Oh, the woes of being on TV,
So,
Jerry.
so your free agent class. Do you want to go through who's free agents?
Yeah, I mean
I'll get your take.
yeah, the big ones are DeGrom opting out. Bassett has the opportunity to opt out as well, but Edwin Diaz is going to need a new contract. Brandon Nimmo, Seth Lugo, who's been here for his whole career, like Nimmo, is going to need a new contract as well. So with a lot of core pieces staying, a lot of guys are leaving as well.
Ottavino,
Out of Vino,
May,
May?
Trevor May. He
No
signed a
way.
2-year deal.
I thought it
Trevor
was
May.
3 year. Dang,
Nope.
not Trevor May.
Uh,
No,
mhm. Is there any other one that you missed?
Michael Givens, I think, is a free agent.
Okay.
So he's there as well. So a lot of questions to answer. And I mean, the Mets did build a good bullpen this year, and a lot of those bullpen guys are free agents. And I do like that in your post game, you were like the only guy to give Seth Lugo, like, hey, like we used him a lot this year in a lot of different areas. He could be great
You
at back.
watched the post game
Of
for
course,
me?
Jerry, I needed
Not for me,
some
but for me.
consoling. Yeah, it was, come on, it was for everybody there, right?
That's sweet.
Plus, I think a lot of Mets fans did. They probably needed some consoling.
Ah, man, if you had to pick one, only one. So this is the difference. You're missing a lot of pieces. So you're going to have to fill it somehow. Are you trying to win a World Series next year? Because if so, Diaz and DeGrom are number one.
You have to, yeah.
If you're trying, like Todd said it on the air, and he talked about extending. You got to get Nimmo, and you extend Pete and McNeil because these are guys that you're building off of, like the Braves for the future. So, but if you want to win next year, that's DeGrom, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because you kind of have to toe the line between both. The last thing you want to do is make negative progress from this year because I think that's just going to cause more alarm and panic. But at the same time, like the Mets have good young pieces. Like they have
Trying to get
guys.
comfy, by the way.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say we're in an earthquake
you
right now.
see
What's
how
going on?
messy my bed is.
No one can see. No one knows what you're
Okay,
talking about.
I'm sitting. You're across my legs as I try to get comfortable here.
Oh, perfect. All right. Was your back hurting before? I don't want your back to be hurting.
I'm old and I've been sitting down for the post game, and then this is my life, so I'm just trying to get comfy.
Jerry's going through it, guys. All right. Give
Yeah,
him
we're
some
all
love.
going through it. I'm physically doing it. Everybody else is emotional too.
And I mean, for me, it's just Edwin Diaz had such an electric year that it would be really, really tough to see him go. I mean, we went through a much more diet version of this in 2021 with Aaron Loup. We loved Aaron
I
Loup.
was
He was,
that was the that was what I was going
we're
to
in
say
sync.
because
We're in
he
sync.
didn't have a great year. Is Edwin Diaz capable of repeating
Relievers are
this?
so volatile, man. And no offense to you,
Agreed.
are a reliever. I don't want to throw you under the bus like that, but they're
Yeah, well,
volatile.
shit. I've had terrible years. I had one in 18, and it still bothers me.
Yeah. But I mean, it's so tough because this team's entire identity was rotation, rotation, rotation. We're going to kill you in a 3 game series. No one can beat us with our 1-2. And the only guy that gave you a good start here is the guy that has the capability to leave. I feel like you need him the most. And if you do sign him to this mega max deal, I think the significance that some people are missing in that, not only the immediate competing, is that Jacob DeGrom will undoubtedly become the best pitcher in franchise history if he's not already, because Tom Seaver is still that only guy, kind of in his way a little bit there. And, that's a guy you could build a statue out of. Like, this is a guy you really want to come back and like be a Met for life. And I think the price tag is scary for some fans, but at the same time, it's Jacob DeGrom. Like we got to witness him, and like that means something to me for sure. I don't know.
The price tag is scary. The injury health is scary. The way he ended the season, not as the superhuman pitcher that he has been. I think I still see it in there. It's scary, man. It makes you hesitant. But it also might give you a little bit of a discount. He's getting 43 million a year. He's getting
He's
what
getting at
Scherzer got.
least what Scherzer has. I'm assuming more. I think he wants more than what Scherzer has.
That's that's tough because of the injury history.
but it's still when he's healthy, is there anyone
I
better?
know, man. No, when he's healthy, but maybe because of he had some hiccups at the end. That's you can make an argument. I still think he's the guy. Probably a very homer view with that, but
But
he's the
I
best
think it's
pitcher
the
I've ever
right
seen.
view. Yeah.
Yeah, but and then people are a little bit scared because of they feel like the investment they made into Scherzer, he didn't come through in two big starts, the two biggest that they needed, and he missed major time this season.
You brought up, and I still think it's valid. You brought up the injury history with DeGrom, and I think that's what a lot of people might gloss over with Nimmo because Nimmo just showed such improvement this season and, really made strides as a center fielder while also being a great bat at the plate. But he also played the most games he's ever played. And there's no certainty that he can continue to do that on a sustained basis. Although I hope he does because getting to watch him for a full season and the first time in what feels like forever was like a privilege. It was awesome. And I mean, it's just there's so many tough questions to answer.
Yeah,
So many.
I agree. And Nemo's injury history is fair. It's a fair ball game. So, and then Diaz is the for sure lock of like dominance. But how long are you going to get a reliever? You know,
Yeah.
he's so young. He's going to get 100 million somewhere. He's going to get
He's 29 years old next year. I mean, his best years I believe are in front of him. I
yeah
mean, it's a tall order this offseason. And I mean, I think it's hitting everyone over the head now because we're all like it's not going to matter when we win the World Series.
yeah.
But
It's tough.
I still think this team is built to move forward. And I think that what Gary Apple said, extending Pete and McNeil, those are things you have to keep in mind because you have to sustain something. This can't
Yeah
be make it a 3 to 5 year window only. Like this should be a system that you can rely on year in and year out.
yeah. Shout out to Gary Apple, by the way, who really is one of the nicest people, genuinely sweet people I've ever met in my entire life. 100% to his core. Nice. But so thank you for bringing that up. Pleasure to work with.
We got to make
But
sure he sees that. That was really heartfelt.
yeah, I doubt I've never been one to shortchange my feelings. He called me. I made sure he said, very nice things, and I made sure to let him. I've never been one to not share my
We
feelings.
should get him on the show
I would love to. I'll see if he's busy. Yeah, yeah.
because I kind of want to pick his brain now.
I would
Hold on.
love to have him on. That would be a pleasure.
See,
That's
this is
awesome.
nice. I need this wholesomeness. I need this,
Yeah,
keep it whole.
yeah. So, but I Brandon Nimmo answered post game like what happened down the stretch. You had a month ago. You had the easiest schedule set, and you guys kind of faltered, and then lost to the Braves, and then lost to the Padres. And he worked backwards. He said the Padres beat us because we didn't play up to our potential, but Musgrove was unbelievable, and you Darvish was you Darvish. Like those
Yeah.
guys, they beat them. They played better. They beat them. The Braves did the same thing, and your backbone, Scherzer, DeGrom, Bassett, all three of those guys in Atlanta failed, and
Yep.
then DeGrom was the only one that kept it competitive in the playoffs. But he said we lost Marte.
Yeah.
Marte down when and he beginning of September changed their entire structure of their lineup. Having him even hobbled, by the way, tip of the cap, like
Yeah.
that
He
guy.
played the whole
What a
series. I can't
badass.
believe that. That's crazy.
I knew going into game two he was going to be in tons of pain after all those that jarring of foul balls and
Yeah.
balls in play, and he made it through, man. I don't know if he would have made it all the way through, to be honest. That guy,
Yeah.
that had to have been some pain. But you've got him locked up for 3 more years. Is he going to be able to maintain health? And he's older. He's 30. He turned 34 today. Happy
He did.
birthday, by
I
the way.
will say he played 120 games this year. I think you're pretty happy with that, all things considered. 33 years old, 118 games.
34. Turned 34 today.
Yeah, and I mean
Today was his birthday. Yesterday, I guess.
they moved him out of center field. I think that worked for the best. Hopefully that just snowballs and keeps going forward.
Yeah, I agree. Man, what else you want to talk about? What do we got?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we talked the game, we talked the free agents. That's scary enough. I mean, It's just a full year of coverage done like that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
we can't get too reflective now. We're too close.
Yeah,
It'll
no.
take a day or two to like take a step back and get a little, macro view of this season.
One of our listeners did suggest that we should do like a draft of the best moments from the regular season. Obviously not soon, but I think that's something that could be a lot of fun.
A draft.
Yeah, you'd
Okay,
like
that
pick
would
your
be
favorite
cool.
moments, and like that's a good way I think
I
to recount
love
everything.
that. That's a
See,
great idea.
our listeners got big brains. I
They
forget who it
are.
was. Sorry about that.
We'll shout you out for sure when we do it.
But I think that my brain's scrambled enough. That's all I
I
got right
agree.
now.
I
Yeah.
agree. I'm ready to probably stay awake for another 40 hours, face down, going, what just
1:30
happened to me?
now. How much longer are you gonna go, man?
No, I've got to figure out. I have a flight in the morning to go home.
You get to see your boys, which I'm very happy about. I'm
Here,
very
I'm
happy
very
to hear that.
excited. My wife and my kids, I'm excited to go home.
Do you think they were happy the Mets lost? I mean, come on, they gotta weigh the two.
No, yes, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet for me too, you
Yeah,
know.
of course.
Uh,
All right, man. Hey, great job this season.
Jolly, thank you for an amazing season, buddy.
Yeah,
This
we'll
was
do it more
awesome.
justice soon,
We
hopefully.
will,
Yeah.
but it's been really fun. You're very intelligent to bounce some ideas off of. You lead this show. You make it easy for me to just hop on and not worry about stuff. Thank you
That's when you're
for
at your
being
best, man. Yeah.
unprepared and
No.
raw. Well, thank you, man. It's been great. Thank you to the listeners if you're still listening.
Yeah.
Um, for justifying us talking to each other about the Mets, man. It's fun.
Yeah, guys, we really appreciate it. A lot of really kind messages after the game unfolded.
Yeah.
And more fun stuff on the way. I mean, we'll figure it out this off season. It's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
we'll have a bunch of off-season stuff. Soon we'll do the draft of the seasons. I think
Mm.
that's a great idea, draft of the moments. We'll do check in on our PPPs, our over-unders.
Yeah,
We'll
Apple
have to do that.
winners.
We'll do
Crazy.
our Apple winners and we'll have some fun stuff. We'll put out some content for you guys.
Some interviews, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that'd be cool. I'm all for it.
That's what I've heard. But until then, guys, try to enjoy the rest of the playoff season. We were in it this year, so it's a little bit different than last year. But keep your head up. Future's still bright. And, one day at a time until February.
One day at a time. Yeah. Well, Jolly, hell of a season, hell of a 2022, buddy.
Hell of a 2022, man.
Stinks to end, in the wild card round. It felt bigger than this.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It felt bigger than this.
Felt so much bigger.
This is what you'll be doing for a while. Just being
I'm going to be thinking about it for a while, Joey.
yeah,